Get ready to grab a box of tissues because in this video, we're going to relive some of the saddest deaths in video game history. Whenever a beloved character kicks the bucket, whether by our own unflinching hands or by some noble self-righteous suicide, we tend to get a little misty-eyed. And then when your roommate walks in and asks why you're sobbing deeply within the living room pillows, just tell them that you ate some really bad chili. Today, we take a look at the top 5 saddest deaths in video games. When a 12-year-old girl dies in the beginning of the game, you know it's gonna be good. Wow, that sounded extremely insensitive. But nonetheless, this game was great. The Last of Us tells the story of infection survivors, Joel and Ellie, as they journey across the country to find a possible cure for the modern fungal plague that has nearly decimated the entire human race. Sounds fun. The game was developed by Naughty Dog, the same company that made other very serious post-apocalyptic games like Crash Bandicoot, Keith the Thief, and Crash Team Racing. In the beginning of the game, there's a little girl named Sarah. She gives her father Joel a watch for his birthday. It's a heartwarming scene. After she magically wakes up in her bedroom, her character is now being controlled by the player. After wandering around the house for a little bit, Sarah finds her father shooting an infected next-door neighbor. The two flee the house with Joel's brother Tommy. Fast forward a little bit and the trio gets into a horrific car crash and is forced to escape the marauding mobs of infected crazies. The group has to kill an armed soldier, but not before he riddled bullets into Sarah. She's bleeding from the abdomen and dies in the arms of her father. And that's how the freaking game starts, people. I mean, damn. Mordin Salas is a Solarian geneticist that participated in the modification of the genophage. In layman's terms, this guy was a part of a race of aliens that wanted to wipe out another race of aliens by killing their babies. Sounds diabolical. But Mordin and his fellow scientists really thought that what they were doing was for the good of the universe. After some time though, he found the ethics of the project disturbing and even turned to religion to try to find some peace. Mordin was known for his witty, fast, and highly logical responses to many of Commander Shepard's questions.
Aware that you and Jack are sexually active, or planning to be, suggest caution. Emotionally unstable biotics dangerous during intercourse.
I'm aware that Jack is dangerous, but I want to see where this goes.
Of course, hormones. We'll be here to set broken bones later.
Mordin has a change of heart in light of all of the events going on with the Reapers and decides to cure the genophage. On planet Tuchanka, he sacrifices himself in order for the cure to be set in motion. When asked why him, he responded, "Had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong. You smug little bastard." As he elevates to the top of the tower to manually implant the cure, he knows that he's gonna die and sings one of his favorite songs for the last time.
Within a fine studies range from urban to agrarian, I am the very model of...
The ever-upbeat and joyous Aeris of Final Fantasy VII was a girl raised up in the Midgar slums. Dressed like she's straight out of a 90s grunge video, Aeris joins Cloud Strife and his band of misfits on an adventure to stop the evil Sephiroth. The journey was long and the battles were arduous, but Aeris was always there to back them up with her amazing magical powers. Towards the end of the game, Cloud finds Aeris in a temple, praying for solutions to their ongoing problems. Without warning, she is killed instantly. The worst thing about this scene is that you can actually see the sword impaling her all the way through. It was kind of disturbing rather than sad, but very sad nonetheless. As the group stands around to pay their respects to their fallen comrade, Cloud lays her deceased body to rest in the waters of the Forgotten Capital. For me, it was the first time I remember seeing an in-game companion die, and it taught me a very valuable lesson. Always wear a suit of armor. Shadow of the Colossus is a story of a young man known only as Wander who is supposed to kill 16 Colossi in the hopes of resurrecting a sacrificed girl named Mono. I mean, Wander is cool, but the character that stole the show for me was his horse Aggro. The majestic beast that she is, Aggro was the faithful companion to Wander as they traversed the desolate lands in search of humongous godlike creatures. Before the battle with the 16th Colossus, the two come across a long, unsteady bridge. Aggro begins to gallop at full speed and almost makes it, but the bridge crumbles too soon. Before falling with the rest of the rebel thousands of feet below, she bucks Wander off to safety on the other side of the bridge and is shown plunging into the body of water below. Come on, after fighting a whole game's worth of monsters, I literally dropped my controller in disbelief. It was like I lost my best friend. It reminded me of when I watched Neverending Story for the first time and had to watch Artax drown in his own sorrows in the swamps of sadness. Now, before you all go flying off the handle about her surviving the fall and then limping into the temple at the end and blah blah blah, this was on the list because while playing this game, people actually thought that she was dead. Losing that horse evoked emotions from those who played the game, so much so that some even cried when it happened. I mean, not me, but The Walking Dead video game has been critically acclaimed, with reviewers praising the harsh emotional tone of the story and the empathetic connection established between Lee and Clementine, the two main characters of this story. They meet up with a whole host of survivors on their way to find Clementine's parents. The first season of The Walking Dead video game was filled with gut-wrenching and sad scenes, but ultimately I had to go with the death scene of Lee. One thing Lee was good at was keeping Clementine alive and safe, but when she suddenly disappears during the finale, things start to get a little crazy. He ends up getting bitten by a walker and has to race against time to find Clementine to make sure that she's safe while his friends around him are dying. After Clem gets away from a zombie cop, she grabs his gun and the player is left with the choice of shooting Lee or leaving him and letting him turn into a walker handcuffed to a radiator. Either way, the decision you make culminates into one of the saddest video game deaths of all time. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please leave a thumbs up. And please subscribe to ArcadeCloud for more Top 5.